My journey away from faith started several years ago, where I was Christian, grew up in the church, then researched Islam, then got into the, metaphysical, law of attraction thing, and finally made my way to reason and facts. I had weight loss surgery 4.5 years ago. I got down really small, I've gained some weight, but I did it partially mainly for vanity purposes. I wanted to see what the other side lived, like how they lived, and if dating would be harder or easier. I will say I definitely attract more people, but I still attract BS. So that has nothing to do with my weight. You can attract trash at any size. So yeah, weight loss surgery has been interesting going through that process. It's made me very active, and I like that. So I don't regret it. And as a child, I struggled with my weight, and I used to pray. I used to pray to God to make me skinny, to make me smaller. And God never showed up, but science did.
See, I told you she's a friend.
Absolutely, you are, Ed, and I appreciate everyone who is here this afternoon. Unlike many within either the Black community or society at large, I had a secular upbringing, and I am the founder and president of Black Non-Believers Incorporated, which is based here, that started here in the Atlanta area. Being a non-believer and not having that religious lens, and people who are letting go of the doctrine of, being indoctrinated with religion, where most of the times you're taught just to question, you're taught to just follow and not think or question. The guidelines that we use to make sure our spaces are safe for our members is that we do, like I said, we're welcoming to everyone, but we gauge people's behavior. And we realize that there are some who, we've encountered some folks who thought that, oh well, we're atheists, we're non-believers, it's just a free-for-all, we can do whatever we want, which isn't true.
I'm a seminary student at ITC.
Okay.
So I want to just see what faith means to you. Again, faith can be outside of God, it can be outside of Jesus, it can be outside of religion, whatever, but like just faith as a concept.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what is our bottom line on that? What is our view? The slogan for our organization is walking by sight, not faith. So it is a play on a passage in the Bible that says, for we walk by faith and not by sight. And even according to the definition in the Bible, it's the faith is, things hoped for that are unseen.
Now, do I think some sort of being is down here, pulling strings, and I have faith that he's going to help me pay my rent? No.
Right.
No. I got to go to work. You got to go to work. I need you to pay your bills so I can get paid, and this whole thing can keep working and functioning. That's what I have faith in.
Right.
These tangible people right here, and I have a little bit of faith in you too.
Right. One of the reasons why Black Non-Believers as an organization does exist is not just to increase our visibility in those, because that's important. It's important for even our own community to understand that there are Black folks who have not just left the institution of church and religion behind, but that they've left the God concept behind as well. And that should not be a scary subject. And that even for those who still believe to whatever extent, because there are now more younger Black folks who are leaving the traditional church. They're kind of, they may be more spiritual in nature. There's some other things that they may impart, but that the Black community has always been diverse. We've never been a monolith. There's always been different schools of thought, and that it's important for the entire community to understand and be able to have this conversation without fear. That's the main thing. There was an aunt of mine who I stayed with for a weekend in Virginia. Now she's a believer. Does she go to church much anymore? No. But we had a conversation. She knows I'm an atheist. And we both said, some of the meanest people we have ever known were other Christians. Especially black Christian women. You know what I mean? Those are some of the meanest people we ever knew in our lives. Anyone else have any questions? Yes.
I have a question. The only thing on my heart, first, thank you for being willing to even explain. Just being cautious. Because we are in a mixed space system, just being cautious, being mindful of the experiences that particularly elder black women have been subjected to because we live in an anti-black misogynistic society. I couldn't imagine the type of bitterness that must grow in one's heart. So I'm just being mindful of naming older black Christian women as the most malicious beings. And
I didn't say older. We just said black Christian women.
Yeah.
But
and I was just saying, just again, given the context, right? Because black Christian women have not been at the top of any oppressive systems or social systems. And I understand internally there's a conversation that needs to be had and kept.
Absolutely there does.
Yeah. And this isn't the space to name it.
Actually it is.
Oh,
because I'm the one standing here. Well, we can have disagreements on that.
I was just it didn't seem fair or a just comment, given the context of the individuals in this space that directly benefits from the white supremacist construct and social construct that is at play right now, and how those power structures can influence people getting hired, fired, the places where people could live. It's just a lot more complex, which I know you know. And I was just, because the conversation has been fair and it just seemed to end on, in a space that was highly undermining of the work that you're doing and of just black folk, because this space, you've gone above and beyond to communicate that this space is for all human beings, not just those who are non-believers.
I hang out with a lot of black Christian women at the senior center. I love them. In fact, I envy them because they are so wonderful and supportive of each other. And I don't see that so much in the white communities. So, but of course, I'm sure there's some mean ones too. There
are some of them. Of course, I didn't say all, but there are,
It's like, I used to work with this young black woman, as we used to joke, we go, there's good black people and bad black people, there's good white people, and then we'd walk around hand in hand singing Ebony and Ivory. So, people are people, and there's going to be good and bad in every story.
Yeah, just making sure that we're framing that. Thank you so much.
I successfully converted Shawn today. He is no longer identifying as religious. He's in between.
I'm a believer of reason and morality.
Right.
Oh, okay.
As of today? As of today.
Okay.
And I believe that all people that believe in morals and reason are Christians. Amen.
I do not know what happened with me and Shawn because I actually like him as a person. From what I've gotten to know, I think he's smart, I think he's funny, I think he's intelligent, he's easy on the eyes.
I feel so bad. I feel like I shouldn't even drink or eat unless somebody else does something food related.
Southerners be like,
Sorry, that's how I'm set up.
Are you comfortable with me eating before you start? Would you like to say the grace over my blessed, make sure I don't get sick or anything?
You led us today, Jason, spiritually?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think you say anything about spiritual.
Can you make this food taste good for us?
Oh, because there's no prayer.
No, I like to say good bread, good meat, good God, let's eat.
What is that doing for you?
It's just like starting the meal. It's like ready, set, go before a race.
oh,
Ready, set, go.
he said go.
All right.
Okay,
Before you guys launch into whatever you're gonna launch into, there was this whole thing that came out where he was saying that, and he was on Instagram, he was defending the fact that he's attracted to trans women.
Trans attracted?
And she's a date trans woman, and so, you know, there's kind of an uproar about that. But then, like, the LGBTQ community, like, came out and, like, they were, like, supporting him. And, like, yeah.
That was really big of him to come out and say, hey, trans women are cool with me. As a black man in America,
In the industry that he's in.
right. And say that publicly, like, not it just be whispered about.
Some people just might only want to date trans persons. I've been with a trans person or two, so, but I think there might be there's obviously some individuals who only want to date people of trans experience. Yeah, kudos to them.
I feel regardless of his stands on that or anybody's stands on that, I do feel like that was like a major thing for him to do because he's putting his integrity on the line. He's putting his career and, you know, everything that he's doing on the line.
But then we don't know about the motives. Maybe he was about to be outed, and he said, "Let me jump ahead of right and make it a positive spin." Yeah.
I do think that there are people that are attracted to people that are trans. So if that's what that means, yes, that is a thing.
Now, me and Shawn were talking earlier, and we were just talking about, I guess, like differences between men and women. And he said that it's somewhat unfair how women feel so entitled to to do certain things to men. So I wonder, as a society, do we not hold our women accountable? We were just sitting in the car, and I wanted to look at his shirt, so I touched his shirt. And he talked about consent and how if he had did that to me, basically, it would have been an issue. And I'm like, for me personally, it wouldn't have been. But I'm just like, do we need to hold our women accountable as well? Should we first focus on our black men, our young black boys?
This is Shawn. That brother's confused, bruh. And I mean it with all endearing love. I noticed some inconsistencies, some discrepancies in his belief systems and the things that he expresses and shares.
No, because he helped someone move, and she mentioned his muscles, and he was offended and felt uncomfortable by that.
First of all, let me
say this. This is the realest shit. Sometimes, me growing up, black girls are mean. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Not all.
No. He said all women make him feel uncomfortable.
I've had a lot of experiences of black girls being mean.
A black woman, the most oppressed human in America, dare I say on this earth, I mean, she had a right to be mad. I mean, most black women have a right to be mad about something.
Yeah, I'll get away with a lot of
we get away?
Y'all
I think
get away though.
Like
you threw a piece of paper at me earlier today.
That's
whatever.
assault.
That's like little elementary school.
When it comes to Tiffany, I love her with all my heart or whatever. It's just some things I do not have time for.
I remember the whole movement of just like, oh my God, don't touch my hair. I feel it. I understand. But when Lil Bow Wow and Allen Iverson was cool like that, and a whole bunch of dudes had hair, whatever.
Boy, he been holding on to this, boy.
Like seriously, like I would get my hair touched so much.
Yeah, before I cut my hair, I was like, look at you. Like,
Well, then why didn't you say don't touch my hair?
Because he didn't know he could.
Because I think men just don't say nothing.
yeah.
about like your body.
So with all that being said, men don't say nothing a lot of times when they're touched by anyone.
That makes sense. That's fair.
And we need to change that. I didn't touch you today.
See how I brought that? You see how I brought that, right? And I have been holding it in. I have been holding it in.
Tell us about today.
Today was awesome. What happened today? Was it like a...
It's a chapel.
Okay, so I thought
It was an all Baptist church. It used to be
Oh no, it's pews.
Pews.
Yeah.
It used to be a Baptist church.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There was like the Bill of Rights on the wall, a picture. It was like something like
Oh, Newton.
And
It was Isaac Newton.
Back.
Yeah, Isaac Newton.
Okay.
So instead of Jesus, we have Newton and Einstein on the walls. So
I didn't even see that.
Yeah. I was like, who are these black people?
Look it up.
right. Let me make sure it ain't, some Klansmen or something.
It's not from the tone, the texture, how we deliver the content of it.
So the meeting was about a conference. So she was telling them about the conference that some of them didn't go to, and really talking about them continuing to sponsor her further. So this wasn't a traditional Black non-believers meeting. I don't be in Cobb County like that. We meet in the city at the bakery in Atlanta. But this was her drumming up support so they can open up the checkbooks to further the Black agnostic skeptic movement.
Not to be condescending, but she said that. Yo, out of pocket. No, I mean,
I've been assaulted.
Are you hurt?
Help me.
Help him! He's so helpless. He's a strong man.
She said Einstein and Newton on the wall. What do they mean or represent for y'all?
Just reason, truth, science, like facts, just knowledgeable.
No. Okay.
That's coming next week probably.
So the questions that I asked them was,
Oh my God.
They were like really existential.
The lady, it kind of contextualized too. Well, I don't want to. Never mind, 'cause I don't want to invalidate or.
No, give us
We talked about this earlier.
Wait, no. I wasn't there. Let me know.
context.
Is there a way to
Nope, say it.
name it without?
Oh, just say it.
Wait.
You know my
What you
Ain
about
is
to
very
say?
sweet.
No,
What
I
you
didn't do
say?
it.
Okay, the organization is a real organization. I do not want to bash an organization or the leaders of organization.
And your intent is not to do that. So her understanding.
And I mean, sometimes if it comes, it'll be like that.
That in an all-white, elder white space. Look, the universe don't want me to say nothing.
All right, go ahead.
It was all white.
everybody said they turned in.
And you know they said nigger.
The audience, the audience were those Black people that like to tell you about their Black neighbor or their doctor or their Black doctor. Like, yeah, my doctor's great. Yeah. These are those Black people.
So here's the thing. It was very specific and it felt really anti-Black in that space. A little pandering, honestly. And she made a comment that was just really straight up offensive. It was in a conversation. She was speaking about a conversation she had privately. And then this room again for older white folk from Georgia who have not attended a church who haven't heard of it. It was being real.
No, shut up.
Right. So she said that the meanest women that he's ever interacted with were Black Christian women. And I think that goes to you.
Christian.
Right. It's so much. It's like, first of all, why did you racialize it? Because it's a non-believer, so I imagine that her disposition would be anti-religion.
Right.
But she racialized it in a way where it didn't have to. And so I raised my hand after I already asked her a question.
So I was definitely taken aback and a bit disappointed, especially because we was in an all-white space, and I am a firm believer in you do not criticize Black people in front of white folks. You don't do it in front of company.
I'm glad that you spoke up. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I know.
You raised your hand. So I spoke up about that. I just named the dynamic of being.
You know how I feel. You don't check Black people in front of white people. You don't do that.
I'm like, I stand in a predominant white space. We know that Black women have
She was so eloquent. She had all the big words.
Have not harmed the masters of people the same way that white folk have been. The same white people. You said that. You said that.
She said everything, boy.
You said the same. Because her.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will say, in cabling and all the different spaces I've been in, I haven't had a lot of bad experiences. Mandisa has. Some are on YouTube, actually. Mandisa Thomas, she's the president of Black Non-Believers, atheist. Anyways, she gets women who just happen to be one of us that just happen to identify as Christian going in on her just for her existing.
I'm sure, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
that they're
There's
not.
that everywhere. That's not just saying.
Right. No. And I said my experience in a black church was so loving. It was so just family oriented. Like my church was
That was
amazing.
really my question. What was that experience for you? Was it like?
No, it was.
Yeah. That's I always wanted to know.
We was there all day long. But no, I went to a Baptist church, New Mount Hermon Missionary Baptist Church. I still got my my certificate from my baptism. I remember coming home and telling my mom she was going to hell, and
Bobby on me.
right, no, like literally, and but no, it was a very welcoming space. Like everyone was family. Like everywhere you turn was a good person. Who they just happen to be Christian, but it was a good person who I can look to, and that was.
Come on, make some noise. Before we had hoods, we had community. And Auburn represents all of that for all of us. I hope that we'll be engaged. Do me a favor, while you're moving up and down the street today, please speak to people, smile when you can, hug somebody, encourage them, and remind them black is beautiful. Have a great day. And if you ain't got nothing to do, meet us at New Birth tomorrow.
My dad, he's in Philadelphia, and well, he went to DC today, so he's at the Smithsonian African American Museum.
Have you been?
When I went there during the shutdown for the Women's March, so it wasn't open.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to go, like I wanted to. So I still need to go up there. But he's up there for that and the Holocaust Museum, and I was like, oh, that's a heavy set.
That's a big sensation.
Right? Yeah, something like I don't know. It's just to lift your spirits after.
Yeah, I mean, so the museum, like Black American Story, had the equal amount of joy because we've been able to conjure joy,
Absolutely.
moments of pain. So you'll definitely experience a plethora of emotions.
Okay, enough of the heavy, because this is just like
So let me just say that
Yes.
there are solutions. Our ancestors have done a lot of work. We should use the Sankofa system where you reach back, take what works, and bring it forward.
Right.
I know it's easy to feel disempowered because like this larger system is at play, but we have the resources we need. We really just have to come together, and there are like fundamental ways that we can do that, show for one another.
Absolutely. And that's like the theme of today. Is unity.
True.
Yeah, unity and community. And so
That's
so
real.
like you got to get out here, support Black businesses, smile, and
Be
just
kind to one another. That's
Absolutely.
healing.
Yeah, definitely. Like totally change the outlook of that.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that you came. I can't believe it's your first Sweet Auburn.
I know.
And you're from here.
No, I'm from Denver, but I went to
Oh,
Spalding.
is that why your phone number? Because I'm like, no, I was like, oh, so she gave me like a WhatsApp,
right.
a text app phone number.
Distance.
Right. And I'm like, okay, I'll just rock with it.
It just looks like a larger version of Juneteenth, the Black Arts Festival that we celebrated in Denver.
Yeah, no. So I came out last night, and I was a little dressed up, and I saw a boy, and instead of saying like, oh, you look nice or whatever, he's like, hey, big booty Judy. And mind you, he literally put a post on his Facebook talking about when complimenting people, try to not make it about their appearance and say things about just like them as a person. He literally posted that.
Okay, so
and then I walk, right, and then I walk up and just like, hey, big booty Judy. He's like, you look like a whole snack. And I'm like, you're just a bad meme. Like, I don't know.
I'm sorry. That's when it's a guy that you like. Or at least for me, I definitely look for a guy who's a jitsu and like sweet. Don't treat. I could say, "Oh, hey, big booty, Judy," and like it's a different context.
Right.
Like I see. That's disheartening. Don't be doing that and claiming that you a brother from the nation because you like seriously like tainting the I'll say the validity, but damn the dignity of the goddamn, bruh.
So he introduced me to his family. That's right. His dad.
Big booty Judy's getting introduced to family.
Oh, so let me tell you how this works. I walk up and he says, "Oh, Dad, this is the black atheist lady that I was telling." I'm like,
see, I don't like that.
Don't introduce me like that. I said, "Hi, Dad. I'm so glad that you're in good spirits." People have to understand, like, me being black and not believing in God isn't really that common, or it's not really out front. So
I'm upset.
So
on my body.
You know, me and him, we talk all during the week, but he's been like really busy, so it's just been like light stuff here and there. So I see on Facebook that his parents were carjacked and robbed. You know, it's a really serious situation, but they're safe, they're fine. You know, money was taken, stuff to, you know, stuff festival related was stolen from them just a few days before. He didn't mention it at all in any of our conversations. I saw it on somebody else's Facebook. So then I texted him. I was like, hey, would you keep things from me just because I don't believe in God? Because, you know, maybe he thought I wouldn't have the words to say outside of religion.
Don't put that on you.
And so I texted him and I was like, and I mentioned it. I was like, you know, I didn't like how I had to find out, you know, about something so close. I mean, your family could have been hurt. Thank the goodness they are fine. They're here, you know, they're out and about in good spirits.
Yo, Tiff, you got man problems, son. But the fact that he introduced you to his family with such like a disassociation is concerning. You know, either don't introduce me correctly or don't introduce me at all.
And I just figure they're so busy. Like last night they had a lot going on.
You're more than just a black atheist, whatever he just said.
Yeah,
like if you were a Muslim sister, he wouldn't be like, oh, it's a black Muslim sister. No, you are either you're some, that's a
and I'm just like,
I don't mean to be so aggressive. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm mad. I don't like what you're saying.
I know, it's like, and I don't have any problem, you know, anyone saying, you know, atheist, whatever. But it does have a negative connotation. And then also, I do have a name.
You do. Exactly. You're a whole human being.
It's a really easy
and
name.
you have an occupation. Like
right, absolutely. Yeah, like you could have been like, oh, here's the vegan, you know,
right.
Like.
Word. Right. So that clearly, you do know. So here's the deal.
But then he's also still married, so maybe that could have. I don't know how that. I didn't want to get married.
He may not be the one, but it's